Hey, you guys, I'm here today and I want to talk to you about removing hexes, removing curses. And I guess it depends on what region you live in or from, or the way you were taught, what your belief system is as to the way you refer to it. For instance, I'm from the South and I'm just as country can be. And a lot of people from the South refer to hexes and curses as root work. And usually, someone in the South would just simply say, somebody has put roots on you, or someone has put roots on me. They will refer to a hex or a curse that way. But if I am referring to it in a way that you're unfamiliar with, I apologize. But for the most part of my video, I'm just going to say a hex because I think we all get the gist of what a hex is. And I want to talk to us about removing hexes. Usually, when we come to the conclusion that we have a hex on us, we usually want to reach out to someone else, to remove it. And there's nothing wrong with that by no means. If you're not an experienced practitioner of the craft, or if you don't believe you're strong enough energy wise, spiritually, I suggest you reach out to someone more experienced. But for the most part, I just want to stress that we have to believe in ourselves more because we are much more capable of things than we actually realize. And with that being said, the whole idea of a hex, and I know that some people say hexes aren't real. Some people say if you believe in it, then it can hurt you. If you don't believe in it, it can affect you. But if you stop and think about it, isn't that what intention is for the most part? The belief of something, making yourself believe something is possible, and to the point that you create it in your reality. Isn't that what intention is basically? So when you ask me if I believe in hexes, I most definitely do. I believe other people can place them on us, and I know that people do that, out of negativity, anger, hate, jealousy, envy, all of those, negative emotions cause people to do harmful things to each other. But today, I want to talk to us about self-inflicted hexes. And I know that may sound silly to you, but believe me, most hexes are placed upon us by our own selves. And of course, we do this unintentionally because why would we want to put something on ourselves to make us unhappy and to cause us pain, whether it be physical or emotional? We wouldn't want to do that, but we do. And like I say, we do that unintentionally. And there's so many reasons that cause us to do this. I couldn't name all of those reasons for you in just this little bit of time I have to talk to you. But I will just mention a few of those reasons. They can go back as far as our childhood. It can stem from childhood trauma, childhood abuse. It can stem from witnessing a traumatic event. It can come from losing a loved one. It can simply come from low self-esteem. It can come from living with someone you're in a domestic violent type of relationship. It can be because there's someone that's steady, putting you down, that's, not physically abusing you, but mentally abusing you. They're always telling you that no one wants you, you're nothing, you're ugly, you are just worthless, those types of things. And you would think, us as adults, we should be able to turn the other cheek, so to speak. Or if someone treats us badly, we would have enough of common sense to pack up and go on our way. But that's not the way life always works out for us. And sadly, we tend to put up with things that we know we shouldn't put up with. And after time passes and we remain in a certain situation, even though deep down in our hearts we know that we are better than this, we know that we are worthy, when you hear something day in and day out, it's like you may not believe it, you know it's not true, but it gets programmed into your mind. And after a while, it gets drilled into yourself, your subconscious mind. You'll know that these things are untrue and these things do not describe you or define you, but you've heard them so many times that you become like a machine. You just automatically, when someone refers to you or you think of yourself, you just have that machine mentality that you just, naturally go back to that same negative thing that you've heard over and over and over again. And like I said, it will keep eating away at us until there's barely anything left. Someone will just keep drilling and drilling and drilling, and before we know it, there's a deep, dark hole there. And when that hole gets so deep and so dark, we can't physically fill that hole in. And it's so spiritually dark that we don't even know where to begin. So we usually will take the easy way out, and that's to just give in. And by then, we've allowed ourselves to unintentionally place that curse or that hex upon us. And when someone places a hex or a curse upon someone, what they are doing is they are sending them bad intention. They are sending them negativity. They are trying to hurt them, whether it be physically, emotionally, spiritually. And just as people do that, we ourselves do that as well. And before I go any further, I want to spray a little bit of spray that I whipped up, and this is just simply some white sage with some rose essential oil that I added. And I'm sure you know it is for cleansing negativity, and then a touch of rose oil just is that little bit of love that we want to throw in there. And I didn't bring any stones, so to say, but I have this pan here, and it's filled with pink Himalayan salt. And a lot of times what I do when I'm doing energy healing or Reiki or anything like that, where I'll be using my hands to maneuver energy, I will take salt. And you can use what you have at home. If you don't have any pink Himalayan salt, you can use sea salt, you can use table salt, just as long as it's some salt. And I'll put it in a pan, a bowl, something like this. And what I'll do is, as I'm talking to my client and preparing, I'll keep working my hands in the salt, and I may even put some in the palm of my hand and rub it. And I'll just keep working this salt around in my hands, because what I am doing is I'm using the salt to cleanse any negativity that may be bound to my hands or clinging to my hands. And also, when I finish using it to cleanse, I will just let it sit by, because Salt is very cleansing and it's very protective. And, if you have a ball of salt in an area, that will help to keep negative energy away. So it serves many purposes. So I brought the salt out today, and I thought it would just be a good tool to use as we talk about removing hexes. And this part of removing hexes, I guess I'll call this part one because I'll have a second part that I'll do really soon. But this part, I want to focus more on the energy work, that aspect of removing the hex. And then in part two, we'll move toward the actual spell work, the physical hands-on part. And I just want to add that we all work differently. The way I do something may look totally wrong to you, or the way you do something may not even, vibe with me. But that's the good part about our craft, is no matter how we work it, it still works. My way is my way and your way is your way. And, that's the beauty in it. There's no right way, there's no wrong way. You can sit down and you can watch video after video of removing curses or doing energy work or doing spell work, and you're never going to find two videos that are exactly the same. They may all favor and they may all have similarities, but that's just the beauty of this craft, that we can pick and we can pull apart what we need, what we don't need. We can add, we can omit, we can make it our own. And I just think that is, the most beautiful part of our craft. So I just wanted to add that. So if you happen to see someone else, or you're talking to someone else and they tell you, that's not how you remove negative energy, that's not how you remove a hex, that might not be the way they do it, but that doesn't mean it's the wrong way. And, you may sit down to do this yourself and decide on a totally different route to go, and that's okay. Whatever feels right for you, whatever works for you, that's what you do, because that is your way. That is the right way for you. And with that being said, let me get back on track. When it comes to hexes, we usually put them on ourselves. And of course, I'm speaking unintentionally. And like I said, it can be from years prior, something traumatic happening to us. It can be present day, just the simple fact that we get up each morning and we look in the mirror as we get ready for the day, and we notice, we've gotten older, we've put on some weight, and each day we look in the mirror, and each day we begin to not like what we see about ourselves. And when we start feeling that way, that's when we need to stop right then and do something about it. But we're humans, and we usually do the human thing, and what we do is we dwell on it. And we'll look in the mirror each and every time, and we'll dwell on the fact that we've gained weight. And as we do this, we're unintentionally looking at ourselves, and we're putting those negative vibes out there. And as we look in the mirror, what we're doing is we're simply reflecting them upon ourselves, And believe me, I'm not taking away from men by no means, but women are very, very spiritual creatures. Think about it. If a woman can create a life and give birth and do all of that within her body, can you imagine the energy, the power, that a woman can possess, that a woman can, send, that she can receive? We're made in the likeness of our goddess. Even men, there's a male and a female of everything, masculine and feminine of everything. But I truly believe that life began with the female aspect. And because of that, we were just blessed with the ability to create life. And in order to create life, you have to have a very special energy aspect within you. So women tend to inflict these hexes upon themselves a lot more often than men do. And honestly, women are a bit vain when it comes to looks and things of that nature. But, it doesn't always have to be based on, not being happy with the way you look. It can be about the way you feel. And, women tend to be, I'm not going to say we're weaker, because I would just be contradicting myself when I just said we're very, very energetic. But I guess what I'm trying to say is that even though we are very, very energetic beings, we are also the more tender-hearted of the female and the masculine energies. We're, the nurturers. We're the ones that coddle the babies, and the ones that, pick you up and clean your boo-boos and kiss it and make it all better. That's just, an aspect of being a woman. And therefore, I feel that women sometimes are a lot harsher on themselves. They're more judgmental. And because of this, we tend to inflict these hexes, if you will, upon ourselves. So I've learned, from just meditating and connection with my goddess and things like that, I've learned over time that, sometimes we do things to ourselves. Sometimes we can't point the finger at anyone else, because we have to point that finger at ourselves. And, if we can inflict this, we can also fix this. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to understand, and we're going to come to realize that it is us sometimes that unintentionally places these hexes upon ourselves. And it can be because of many, many reasons, and it can be from the past to the present. It can be something that carried over from a past life. And, through meditation and past life regression work and things like that, you can pinpoint exactly what the cause is. But that's not our concern today. Today, our concern is just to realize what we have done and to fix it. And that's what I have learned, through meditation, through trial and error, through my partner, and, working with him, and just, making mistakes and letting them become lessons. You learn. And that is the healthy part of life, is learning. And, we're going to make mistakes, and that's okay. Just learn from those mistakes. And what I have learned is that we are the cause of these hexes. And because we can put these hexes on ourselves, we can also reverse them. And, it can be as simple as sitting down, and this is how I do so much of my own self-healing and my own inner work. But I will sit down in front of the mirror, and first you have to own it. First you have to say, today I've realized that my way of thinking has caused me to feel this way, and for today I forgive myself. And for today, I'm going to release this negative way of thinking. And for today, I'm going to love myself. And you can word it any way you like, but I find that when you take one day at a time, it's easier. You don't try to take on too many things at one time and become overwhelmed, which is just a little lesson that someone close to me taught me, and it finally clicked. Just focus on today. And when I do this and I sit down in front of the mirror, I'm talking to myself. I'm talking to, my higher self, my inner self. And, sit down and look within yourself, look deep within your eyes, physically look at yourself, spiritually look at yourself, and get you a piece of rose quartz or a piece of selenite or something like that. You can use a penny because it's copper, and copper is useful in this work as well. Use what you have, but I normally use selenite or rose quartz, and each thing that you have allowed to become a negative part of you, I look in the mirror and I've gotten fat, erase that. Take that rose quartz, that selenite, and erase that and wipe it away. I don't like the way I feel. I feel depressed. I feel unhappy. I feel angry. I feel jealous. Take that rose quartz and erase it. Erase it good and wipe it away, just as if you were erasing marks off a piece of paper and wiping the eraser residue away. And do that each and every day. Those things that are bringing you down and making you feel bad about yourself, simply focus on those things and focus on today and erase it and wipe it away. And guess what? Tomorrow is a new day. Tomorrow you can look in that mirror and start with a fresh, clean slate. And I know it's not as easy as it sounds, but just do it, continue to do it, and always, always remember, you guys, if you believe, you will receive. Much love. Bye-bye.